Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another video. My name is Tom from 6 Foot Networks. Thank you for joining me this evening. So, I wanted to quickly apologize for my last video. It was a rant that in some ways wasn't really necessary, but in other cases it really was. You know, to experience firsthand what I have been experiencing over the last few weeks with GM and the dealership here in North Carolina is something that I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemy. I say that because I feel like I became the worst enemy and somebody wished this upon me. Even though I know that's not the case, it's still a feeling that really sucks. And I'm recording this video because I do have some good news, and I'll share that with you in a moment. But I wanted to take a minute and just say that, the last few weeks have been really difficult, for me. Not just because I gave the Bull TV back, but, the change between California and South Carolina is huge. It's astronomical in so many ways. The culture is different. The people here are night and day. But if you look how people behave in LA, specifically in the area where we lived in, there was a lot of rude, condescending, in some cases belittling, and there was always a challenge of some sort between people, like, hey, I can do better than you, whatever it was, whether it was mowing your grass or painting the front of your house or something, was always challenging. And here, people come up to us and they welcome us and they're friendly and they say hello and they talk to us and they ask us where we came from and how we're doing things. And for me, that's huge. It's massive. Now, for those who don't know, I was able to maintain my jobs in Los Angeles from here, and as you can see, my computer's behind me, and I work from this room. This is my office, and I'm now sitting on the floor, and I have you guys on a tripod with standing on a little chair because, I'm pretty tall, and that's what it took to get this shot lined up. But there's no lights on because the light in this room is absolutely horrendous, and it is evening time. You can kind of see, actually you can't really see the sunset over there because that is the east, that is the west. So beautiful coloring, and it's actually giving my face the semi-natural glow that I wanted for this shot more so than anything else. That light is horrendous. It'll be taken down tomorrow. Anyway, on to the good news. I know you guys are waiting. After I shot that video, I reached out to GM, the previous video the rant that I was just referring to. After I shot that and uploaded, I had a conversation with GM and I said, listen, we lost 3 cars. How do we prevent this insanity from continuing? Because that's literally what it was, and that's what made me so emotional, is because we were doing the same thing, and each time we were expecting a different result. If you do something over and over again expecting a different result each time, that's insanity. That is the definition of insanity. And GM said, the woman from GM, she said, well, let me get back to you. I'll get back to you in a few hours. Well, it turns out she got back to me in about 25 minutes, and she made my day. This happened yesterday, and it was about, I don't know, 5 or so in the evening, and she said, go to the dealership in South Carolina. Apparently, what I didn't know was that this dealership in North Carolina that we were working with had a sister dealership. Actually, they have a few. I think they have 4 or 5 of them. One that's in Richmond, Virginia, another one that's on the east side of North Carolina, the one in Huntersville, North Carolina that we worked with that, bombed the whole deal. And then there's one in Spartanburg, South Carolina, which is about 35 minutes that way. And I got into the car and I drove up. I didn't know what to expect. She sent me instructions. The woman from GM sent me instructions on what I needed to do when I got to the dealership. And you know what? It was the best hour of this whole thing. The last 6 months, 6 or 7 months since we started this whole ordeal, were literally summarized into an email message that had 3 sentences and directions on where the dealership was located. I built my 2023 Bolt EUV. Even though it says 2022 up here, they no longer manufacture 2022s. This is my build sheet that the dealer gave me for my 2022 Bolt EUV Premier. And in case you're wondering, it does list the Super Cruise package, the Sun and Sound package, and to make things a little bit more expensive, just to get the MSRP as close as possible, I got the Winter Summer Floor Mats package. It's all here, and it's the same color as my previous one, so this went to GM today for building. So the difference between what we did with this versus what we did before was we were trying to catch cars that were coming off the assembly line and traveling to dealerships. As they show up on dealer portals, I would try to say, okay, I want this car, I want this car, I want this car, I want this car. And by then it was too late. Somebody would walk in the door and say, hey, I want to put $1,000 deposit on this vehicle, and boom, that's it. Everything would be, out the door. That happened 3 times. So the fact that I was able to build this and get it into the system, it'll never show up on a portal anywhere. There will be, once this order is assigned a VIN number, that VIN number is essentially tied to me, and it will never be listed for sale. It'll never be listed for, as available for somebody to put a deposit on. In fact, what was great was that this didn't require a deposit because this was part of the buyback. The dealer was able to attain an allocation for this car, which was outside of their allocation that GM gives them, with regards to what they can order when. And this car has been placed on order today. So today I said goodbye to the woman that's been helping me at GM since the other woman left. So what was it, 2 weeks now? She's been helping me since about the 15th or so. And she said, well, you and I are done, and now you're gonna move on to the next person in line, which is apparently the financial portion of it. So that's where I'm at. The car is ordered, it was built. I got a confirmation today from GM saying they've received the order number, they've received the MSRP, and everything looks good. Everybody's happy, I'm happy. The dealer, fantastic. The best group of people I've ever seen in a dealership has been here, 35 minutes away from my house. And I'm thrilled because the dealership in LA that we were dealing with, they made me sit for 5 months before anybody responded. The other dealerships didn't even respond or never picked up the call. So with that said, I know I'm losing daylight and I know I'm getting darker in this video, but I just don't have, you guys see what my office looks like. There's paperwork right here, waters and stuff. Behind me is what's left of my network, and then my 2 computers over here, and that's it. I can't find my camera lights anywhere. I can't find chargers to half of my stuff. So hopefully when our furniture arrives after the 4th, we'll be able to get better quality videos out. I thought about going outside, but then I'd have, mosquitoes flying all over me, and I would just be doing this anyway. So with that said, I wish you guys a good evening. I feel much better. This, I'm probably looking at 90 days. So they weren't sure how long. They said 90 days typically. And it's funny because I asked them, I said, so should I just put a deposit down on another vehicle? And they said, well, even if you do that, you'll only be waiting 2 to 3 weeks extra for a brand new one that has your name already on it. And you're not dealing with spending money and putting a deposit down on a vehicle that may or may not be reassigned. It is what it is. So I'm happy about this. This is gonna go over here so I don't lose it. And before I completely black out, I feel like this has been a 10-minute fade or however long I've been talking. So got from bright to slowly dimming out. But I hope you guys are doing well. And as always, thank you for watching. And we'll sync up after the 4th of July. I hope all of you have a safe and happy Independence Day. And please, if you're thinking about lighting off some fireworks, please use your brain and keep yourself safe, keep your loved ones safe, and take care of your animals. If you have dogs or cats, they're hypersensitive. So until next week, have a good evening and happy 4th of July. Thank you for watching.